Do you ever notice how the landscapers charging the most are usually the most calm? Well, that's not by luck, it's by what they believe. Too many landscapers today are underpriced not because of how tough the market is, but because they're afraid to own their value 100%. It's like they're scared of what the bottom number looks like and unable to deliver it. Well, today in this video, I'm going to show you how to charge what you're worth without being afraid to lose the deal and feel guilty about it, and show you how top landscapers price with confidence while getting the homeowners to say yes even when they're the highest bid. My name is Kevin Cook, the creator of the Dirty Work Sales System. I'm a sales trainer and coach for contractors just like you. I help contractors transform from an estimate giver to deal closers to be able to close deals on the spot, raise the revenue, and multiply their close rates. I started my career off as a police officer for 10 years. I was broke as a joke, man, growing a family. So I started a landscape company about halfway through, grew that company after 10 years to a 7-figure landscape company, leaving the police department, and sold it. After that, I grew another service company, an 18-wheeler trucking company, to a multi-7-figure company as well. Now I coach contractors from coast to coast, man, how to crush it. Let's get straight into it. There's 5 things that are crushing you right now that's keeping you from being able to sell high ticket and to be confident about those numbers. Let's get straight into number 1. You can't charge more if you think less of yourself. I remember this so vividly when I was in the police department midway in my 20s, making about $35,000 a year when I first started cutting grass and laying mulch. When I charged somebody $3 or $4 or $5, $6,000, I felt so scared to deliver it because I'm thinking about how much I get paid in my thought of a lot of money. I'm telling you guys, you have to quit thinking like that, because just because like you don't make a lot of money or not making a lot of money right now has nothing to do and no bearing with your customers and what you're trying to sell. So let's reframe that thought process. And when I say reframe, we're putting it into a different context so you can think about it differently. They called you there for a reason. Understand that. They called you there because they want to get the work done, so you have to do your job. You don't think about it as the bottom line. Reframe that thought process into thinking that it's a work of art and you're charging for the art, which is the product, not based off of what you make and what you got in the bank account and how much you may be struggling or not, or how much you need the job. You need to price it based off of the artwork that you're creating for that customer. Number 2, numbers don't scare confident landscapers. This is a huge deal in how you say the number when you give the estimates, when you're trying to close the deal. If you say the number like you're talking like a boss, then you lose your tone and you just kind of shrink when you say it'll be $10,000. It screams uncertainty. And when there's uncertainty felt in the room during the sale, when you're trying to close the job, it's a red flag for a customer. They may not be able to put their finger on what's wrong. You just look like you're very uncertain. Let's reframe that thought. High prices said with certainty screams leadership. Screams, let me follow this guy because it feels like he knows where we're going and what he's talking about. You need to say prices, I don't care how much they are. If you priced it the way you know how to price it and your margins are there and you feel good about it, if you say it with certainty, you need to say it like you said it 100 times. That screams confidence. That screams trust. That screams, let's do work with this guy. Number 3, you are part of the value that's being delivered. So many landscapers put all of the value of the deal in the materials, in some of the workmanship, in how long this is going to last, how sturdy this material is, and forget that you are the one that needs to be trusted. They don't trust materials. They trust the hands that are on it. They trust the person in front of them that's asking for the money. Something goes wrong, they're not thinking about materials or thinking about the person that put it in there. So you have to include yourself inside of the value. So when you reframe that thought, when you show up sharp, you show up confident, you have your numbers together, your delivery dates, your install dates, your material specs, everything together, that screams value, okay? Anybody can go to the store and just deliver materials, but this guy, he's sharp, shake hands tight, smiles good, looks good, smells good, delivers good. That is the value that you are delivering inside of that deal, which closes high ticket deals, which makes your customers feel so much better about doing business with you so you can't get shopped out. Number 4, never negotiate price, only negotiate terms. This is a huge problem in our industry where we are discounting prices just to get deals. Never do that, because when you do that, you are sending the signal to your customers that your price is fake, that it's not real, that we just have these imaginary numbers in there. Your margins are there for a reason, so you can feel good about the deal and do a good job, and so they can feel good about the work that is being delivered. You offer a payment structure. A lot of guys are going to sit here and scoff at this and say, man, just give me my money. Listen, if you want to close higher ticket deals and more deals consistently at a high rate, you need to be flexible on your deposits. I'm not telling you to finance anything unless you have a third party or something like that, unless you're able to finance somebody. What I'm talking about is structuring deposits. If you're on the West Coast, you don't have that much of wiggle room, and I'll speak to that in a second, but I'm on the East Coast, so we can take as much as we want on the deposit. But if somebody's having a problem with the price, you can break it up into 25, 25, 25, 30, 30, 30, 10. Or if you're on the West Coast, because you can only charge 10% deposit, you can do step deposits. Like you could take 10% up front, and then you take like 30% when you start and another 30% later. So you can do step deposits. I'm telling you, when you structure that, that's the only leniency that you have on your price. Never cut your price. Number 5, high value clients pay for certainty. They don't pay for cheapness. Huge mistake, right? That if you walk in, you're trying to wheel and deal. You're trying to say, well, if I can give you this, I can do this for less. If we do this, we can take this off. We can do this for less. We can get it for the lowest price you could possibly get it for out the door. You are not talking to a high value client, a high value customer that you're trying to close a high value deal on. You're talking to a cheaper customer. That's why you keep seeing them. High value clients want what they want. They have the money, they have the savings, they want what they want, so they want the exact dream that they have in their mind. So when you show up sounding desperate, when you show up sounding like a sleazy sales guy that's trying to work them a deal like at the grocery store or Walmart or something like that, they don't want to deal with you, so they will say that you're too expensive. They will say, let me think about it, or let me talk to my wife about it, because that's a nice way of telling you no. Understand that certainty sells. Straight up, face to face, eyeball to eyeball. Sir, ma'am, it'll cost $25,000. I take a 50% deposit. How would you like to pay for it? Cash, check, or email link. Boom. Right? There's a difference between a guy who's saying it costs $25,000 and we usually take a 50% deposit, but I'll be okay with 20. That dude ain't certain. And he don't do it all the time because he's scared to charge it, man. Like, you have to come off with certainty like it's a regular thing, because when you do it, it will be. So if you're still lowering your price to close deals and you're afraid to spit out those numbers and it makes you tremble in your chest, man, you're stuck in survival mode. Remember, certainty sells. The guys who are charging more aren't lucky. They're just confident that is what it costs and that's what they want for the job, and they put in the reps to keep saying it regular over and over and over and over again. If you don't have your questions together or how to get to the sale to build the confidence to be able to ask for those numbers, click the link in my bio. It's free. It's called the Dirty Work First Call Kill Sheet, which is going to give you all the questions you need to ask prior to showing up so you can have all the ammunition that you need to close the deal on the spot. If you don't have it, man, you're just going to be winging it. Until then, like, subscribe. Until you see the next one, we'll see you soon. Come on, man, let's get it.